Actually, it looks really good.
Okay. Now we just have to not move the computer at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine right where it's at. I'm going to double check to make sure all my settings have stayed the same from where it's at. Friendzone. It looks a hell of a lot. That's enough out of you. It looks a hell of a lot better there than it does there.
Ooh, yeah.
So we might have to do something about that. What do you think?
There's nothing we can do.
Nothing?
That's standard issue. Bit rate.
Great.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because on that one it looks like a surveillance camera, like footage. It's like, and if you look here, this is when.
Yeah. God, I fucking hate that little fucking nipple that goes on top of here. So I'm going to. I'm gonna put this in a couple places. I don't know if he can get it or not. To put this here.
Wait, where are you putting it?
Well. I don't even know what it would be. Is it Zeke Space?
Dude, it really does look like a...
It looks like shit. It looks like absolute shit. What would it be? Underscore? I don't know how I would put it because on YouTube I'm Zeke Space Zombie.
Yeah, I'd be underscore.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Holy crap! I gotta keep clearing my throat.
Yeah, it's not very fun, is it?
It's all the dust and stuff in here.
I was thinking about putting on my regular social media, but I don't know if I should.
I mean, for a trial run kind of thing.
I mean, it's technically the first.
Yeah,
episode.
it's like the first episode.
It really is technically.
So, I mean, yeah, it's up to you.
Fuck it, why not? I mean, people can still come by and say, hey.
Yeah,
And we can. So, again, like I said, about the. Hang on. Let me post that on my social media. It'll be a lot easier to post on fucking Facebook than it is on Twitch. If I knew how to work YouTube, it'd be great. I really don't know how to work it, apparently, because I can't share for some fucking reason. I don't know why. Oh, here it is. I found it. Shut up.
Are you having a brain aneurysm? What the hell's the matter?
I'm constantly having a brain aneurysm, okay? That's how I live my life.
You drunk?
Shut up. No one needs to know about that, even though everybody knows about it.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I need one of those. Aren't Superman's they're...
I can't remember what Superman is.
Hey,
guess what? That's the whole thing with the fucking podcast. We can look it up.
Yeah, it's oh my god, why can't I think of the word? I do them all the time.
Sure.
Let's
go with images. That's what Superman is.
Oh yeah, I don't do that.
That's
That's yoga. I mean, actually, I think I've done that once or twice before. Like, it's a good stretch. But sumo squats.
Oh yeah, those are actually not bad to do. I don't mind doing sumo squats. Those are pretty fun.
I can do. I think my max or my most I've ever done in one session was 500 squats in one sitting.
Regular squats or sumo squats?
I think it was regular squats.
Oh.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh. Well, there you go. You can fucking sit here. Bam. Hang on a second. I think I did actually have it in the list. I don't know what I fucking did with it. There it is. Ah. Let's see if I can get 1, 5, 7. Don't do that, please. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, first off, we're gonna set this right here. We're gonna move you out of my fucking way.
Dude, I can't jump rope. To be honest,
I love jump rope.
I can't do it.
Look at these two things that I think they showed up
I
yesterday.
think my legs are too short.
I'm so fucking happy.
Helter Skelter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm super happy about it. And then this is on the same thing, but I think this one was a 20-year-old book. Like somebody was spending like 20 years on the thing.
That's funny.
What?
Manson applied for a credit card while on trial for mass murder.
I believe it.
That's kind of funny. Helter Skelter.
But yeah. No, apparently this one's a better book than that one from what Joe Rogan and Quentin Tarantino were saying.
It's like a lot of these dudes and dudettes. They look like murderers. I don't know what to say. Like
so
I mean, you're trying to tell me that's a model, upstanding citizen?
Yes.
There is no way.
So what?
He's got that soulless look.
So apparently, what Tarantino was saying was that with the first murder,
Ooh, I like the pictures.
I haven't looked at any of this. I literally just got it, and I don't want to look at any of that to whatever.
Spoil yourself.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Right.
He's guilty.
Yeah, no shit. Where the fuck did I know I had
You know, sometimes I like to do that stare in the mirror at myself sometimes. Wait, what was that? Like a you do it too?
Yeah, like the fucking
yeah,
but
stare right here.
But apparently,
can
I finish my fucking?
It's ruined now. It's ruined. You didn't look.
Apparently, the very first, their first kill or whatnot. Apparently, Charles Manson, from what, what's his name, Tarantino said, because he had to do so much research for his movie of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He said that he honestly does not believe that the first murder was not planned by Manson. It was what was your name? I'm trying to remember. One of the main cast members, or not cast members, one of the followers, whatever. I keep wanting to say Sharon Tate, but she's the one that died. Not Sharon Tate. God, I can't think of her name. But one of the main ones, did it instead of, it was kind of like a spur of the moment or whatnot thing. But if you want to know about it, I definitely say check out.
Check out these books.
Check out these books. And check out Joe Rogan's podcast at www.spotify.com/Joe Rogan _Quentin. I don't know how to do this. I had something. I had a fucking notebook that I was gonna
like how you gotta be mentally ill.
You were way into those fucking things.
To rape and kill a 3-year-old girl. No, this is
Wait, is that actually what they did?
No, this is the case of Jimmy Shaver. That'd be a cool name, that last name to have.
Shaver? Yeah, especially after the fucking rapist, pedophile.
Well, I mean, preferably you have the name before, that guy kind of went and soiled it. It'd be like Hitler, it's like, Hitler kind of.
Could you imagine having the last name of Hitler? Hey,
that would be awful now. That would be.
I'm Jacob Hitler.
Like, I
or
feel like
you or Eli Hitler.
Like, that would be awful. That would just be because that's a name that's, or Manson. It'd be like Manson.
Manson's still not really too tainted of a name.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
kinda,
still gonna turn some heads. Like, if you're like, oh yeah, my last name's Manson, they're gonna be like, whoa, they're gonna like start backing up and like, oh, okay. But,
hey, as long as your first name isn't Charles, you're fine.
Well, what if it is? What if his
well, then you're
great grandson's named Charles Manson, named after your great grandfather?
Yeah.
That stuff's pretty. I mean, it's interesting though.
I know. That's why I got those books so I could read more about it. I don't know what it is. I mean, every now and then I'll just get into that kind of vibe of I want to get into these serial killers. I want to look into these. I want to hear the whole story. I want to hear the details. It's just interesting to me. And if anyone out there is like, "Oh, well, you're messed up," no. If you watch a horror flick, if you watch a horror flick, I don't know. I find it fascinating. I find it fascinating the psyche of these guys, their whole mental process. Because I mean, people, and that's one of the things is like these people get tainted. Their names get tainted and they get so shunned and everything, which I get it. They're killing a whole bunch of people. Whatnot.
I mean, yeah.
But they are mentally sick. They are mentally ill.
Yeah, I mean they are. But there's only so much.
Their minds are broken. There's something a part of their head that is just it's not working properly.
It's detachment. A lot of them. It's like they. Some of them they kill to feel alive, because it's a kind of almost like a power thing, but it's also kind of a, it's like in a very, very extreme.
It's like an adrenaline
rush. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because it's the thought of extinguishing a life. It is very appealing to some people.
Right.
And that's what causes the psychopathy, because you're at that point. It's like how you're not really feeling anything for the people that you are planning on killing or are half killed, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. What was that one? I don't know why, but that one. What was it? John. What was it?
Jacob Jingleheimer Smith.
It was John something Gacy or Macy.
John Wayne Gacy.
That's what I was gonna say.
No, it wasn't. It was John Wayne Gacy. What is his name? Gacy. Oh God, I can't remember. He dressed up like a clown. I remember him.
John Wayne Gacy, yeah.
John Wayne Gacy. Okay, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I thought that sounded right, but I wasn't sure.
I think I heard about him a while ago.
Yeah, he's the clown. He was the clown serial killer.
I don't know. Some of these things are just
he ate his victims too. Or I think there's rumors or something like that.
Right. Yeah. John Wayne Gacy. 29 bodies buried on suburban. Whoa.
Yeah.
26 in the crawl space.
He killed a lot of people.
How can somebody look at that and not think that guy's a fucking serial killer?
Oh God, yeah. Any clown, dude. I'm telling you right now, man. I don't like people that dress up like clowns.
I think he's probably the origin story of why people don't like clowns.
Probably.
He probably, because I mean, this was back in in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, 75, 76, 77.
So I wonder if it was based on, like, I wonder if Stephen King based it off of John Wayne Gacy, or
No, I mean, I'm sure that was like a minor inspiration, but I don't think that would be like what he based it off of.
yeah, I mean, I would say it was a pretty big inspiration, if nothing else.
Yeah, I think it's just an inspiration. I highly doubt it's a basis off of what he wanted to do, but I don't think that was the sole reason why he made that. Because there was also some other ones. What do you want? Come here. Come on. I remember hearing somebody talking about some other ones. Let's see, clown serial killers.
Well, that'll be a
John Wayne Gacy.
yeah. He's by far the most famous one.
Yeah. I say killers. Artwork. No, I don't want the artwork. Thank you. Killers, serial killers. Yeah, no, John Wayne Gacy's really got the whole fucking thing down.
Yeah,
he's just like, I'm the only clown serial killer.
No, he's immortalized.
Yeah,
but that's what you're doing with these. Like, that's what they don't realize, that they feed into the serial killers' egos by like publishing them and basically immortalizing them.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, it's like the mainstream serial killers, they'll always be famous because there'll always be people like you that really find it interesting to study, and to an extent there is a lot that we can definitely learn about from the psyches of these people. But
yeah,
it's like at the same time though, it's like, I mean, they're dead and gone now, but like you're basically feeding a potential serial killer who's like, oh, you know what, I want to be immortalized like that. I want to,
Have you seen
like
that
a sick fantasy?
I hate Five Guys, but have you seen that one meme of Jeffrey Dahmer of him eating a burger, and he's like, he's like, I don't think there's really 5 guys in here. I just find that so funny. I don't know why. Right. Oh my god! Have you watched that movie, Dahmer? Yeah, it's interesting.
It's like with serial killers, I'm not like overtly interested in them. Like it, it's cool to look at the psychology of them.
You're right. Yeah. I thought it was gonna be better. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's just I honestly thought it was gonna be better than what it actually was. I can't even fully remember it. But the thing is, it does show you how he was almost pretty much like a normal kid, like, with some problems or whatnot. I don't know how he actually was in real life, but the way they portrayed him, it seemed like if he just had like a few more friends, or like somebody reached out to him more, he wouldn't have turned out the way he was. Or,
well, I mean, that's generally the case with a lot of like people like that. I mean, that's like,
can you stop licking me, please?
That's what's kind of interesting about serial killers. That is the one aspect that's interesting about them, is you can almost, like, sometimes they have very, very different reasons for, doing what they do. It's like you have some of them that have the ego, and then you have the other ones who are just, they just want attention, and they didn't get enough of it as a child. They were,
and then there's then there's some, I don't know if you watched Dexter, if you've ever watched Dexter.
No.
I never did until this year, and I started watching it, and it's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, I wanted to get into it. I just never.
It's really fucking good. But it does. It addresses a very good, interesting topic, or not topic. I don't know what you call it. He is a serial killer, but he he's hardwired to where at this point to where he has to kill.
Yeah.
Like he is, it's like it's almost like an addiction that he can't.
Yeah, it's yeah.
But the thing is, he only kills bad people. Like he was taught to, because like he has the need to kill, but he was taught to where he only kills bad people. So like if he has to kill, he's gonna kill bad people. So and I think that's a very interesting concept. Very, very interesting. And apparently they're coming out with a sequel, I think, or or a spinoff.
Oh.
I don't know if it's a spinoff or what. I need to finish the first one. I think I'm only like 2 or 3 episodes off, but from finishing it. But no, that's such a fascinating concept to me. Is that in I think that's really awesome. If we could fucking get these serial killers, or if somebody could like, reach out to these serial killers or whatever, and just be like, all right, well, you're only gonna kill X, like bad people.
Yeah, I get the
like if those people could be like trained, if those people could be rehabilitated to be like, well, if you absolutely had to do this, well, we're going to use it beneficially. Because I mean,
well, the problem with that is though, like I get your point, but like the problem with that is
why can't we use them for fucking like military purposes? Why
we do? There are absolute psychopaths in the military.
Well, yeah, but we don't know that. That's not like what we're not being like, oh, hey, you're a serial killer. We're gonna just toss you into the fucking military. No, we're just like, oh, we happen to have serial killers in the military. That's a different story.
I mean, yeah, like they're definitely.
So, like, why can't we just be like, damn, you're really good at fucking killing people. Have you ever thought of working for the government and killing our enemies?
Like, yeah, the problem is
would you stop looking at me?
This was my main point. The problem with that is what dictates a bad enemy. Because to the people overseas, we're the enemy. Because we're the ones that come over and get involved in all their politics and stuff.
Well, now you're going into the moral of who we're killing. We're already going over and killing people.
Well, yeah, but the problem is why are we employing these people who have murdered innocents? Who's to stop them from murdering our own soldiers?
If they get a chance. Well, I mean, have you ever fucking do you know much of
because they don't care about dying. I can tell you that much. We can threaten them all we want. They're done.
It depends on where they're stationed at, because some places have more leniency and less restriction on being watched than others, because there's some bases that are completely like you can't fucking fart without someone knowing, and then other ones are like, you know what, you can go to the fucking cafeteria and steal some snacks or whatnot in the middle of the night, nobody would fucking know. It just depends on where they are. So honestly, I'm gonna toss you. Stop it. Honestly, if they were to recruit somebody who I guess was a serial killer or whatnot, they would probably most logically put him somewhere that was more of a higher security thing, to where like they couldn't move.
Yeah.
So and like the thing about serial killers is they stalk their prey and they plan things out and they prep and they're
very methodical.
Yes, they are fucking passionate about killing people.
Yeah,
and they know how to do it right. Have you seen 60 to 80% of our military personnel? They're fucking idiots. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that like the military, the people in the military don't know what they're doing. There's a good fucking percentage of idiots in the fucking thing. They're just like, oh yeah, I thought they would help us. Oh fuck this fucking job. I'm just kind of fucking here. No, they don't like care about their job as much. They're just kind of fucking there for the most part. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I've definitely met a bunch of people that were passionate about whatever branch that they were in, or like their country, or this, that, or the other. But thing is, like, I feel like the stipulation, like the requirements and whatnot to join the military and what they do is a little offbeat. Like, if they actually want people to fucking join and good people to join, they would drop the whole, the marijuana thing. Like, oh well, you can't join if you've smoked before or anything.
Yeah.
Um, you know, especially the whole, oh well, have you ever been committed a felony? I mean, yeah, sure, that's one thing, but what felony did they commit?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a serial killer. Oh, fucking great, you're great for this fucking job. We kill a bunch of people.
Yeah, but the whole idea is, again, that's not the stance of the military on killing. We don't. The military doesn't go, yeah, we just we kill a bunch of guys. We say we went in there, we neutralized the threat, and that's what they say. They don't say like, oh yeah, we went in there and killed a bunch of people, and it's like the military doesn't view killing as necessarily a good thing. It's more or less a necessity in the military.
Yeah, but at the same time,
serial killers, they do it not as a necessity. They kill for fun. They kill for their own.
Yeah, but at the same time, America wants power. America wants to show strength and that they are, very powerful and whatnot. And what's more powerful than having a whole bunch of, trained assassins, like, to have in
well,
there?
We already have those.
Right. Yeah. So you fucking yeah, but we train them to be assassins. But if you're a naturally born assassin, like, without,
well, that's the problem though, is you're not, because again, assassins aren't killing for fun. I mean, there might be a few of them that get rushed off of it, but for the most part, it's like they're killing again because they're under orders.
Well, regardless. No, that's the thing about assassins is assassins are great. The thing, basically, the description of an assassin is someone who can go in, kill somebody silently, and to the objective or whatever, and get it done properly. But their motive itself, down, fucking down.
I don't want your kisses. I don't want
down.
Oh,
stop. But their motive,
abusive.
Their motive or whatnot is irrelevant. So, they might have some. They definitely do have some assassins that fucking love the job. They love killing people, but it's just not shown.
Probably for a little while, I would say that they do. Maybe like
I'm sure that they definitely have
10, 15 years. But the problem is, again, is if you have the mind of a serial killer, right? It's it's only self-discipline. It's not disciplined, by some external force. They've disciplined themselves to take it upon themselves to plan everything out, to be methodical, to plan every aspect and every element of what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Out. Problem with assassins is, or the difference is with assassins, they are very disciplined and self-disciplined. They've been disciplined by this outside force that's trained them. They go in, they kill, they get the job done, and then they get back out of it. They do it, and they do it right.
Well, how is that different from professional serial killers? The ones that
you mean really hitmen?
No, professional serial killers.
Oh, you mean, okay? Never mind.
Yeah, so professional serial killers that are actually intelligent enough to do what they want to do properly. How is that any different? They stalk their prey.
The difference is why they're doing it, why they're killing.
But that's exactly
a key difference.
Again, that's the only difference is the motive. They do the same exact job but have a different motive.
But that's a huge difference.
How? Because if they are doing the same exact thing, why can we not?
I'll give you an example. So okay, You have two employees that work at a fast food chain.
Okay.
One joined purely out of money. The other one joined because they enjoy the fast food industry. Now, I've never met somebody who thoroughly enjoys the fast food industry, but nonetheless, you have two different people. They're working the same job, doing the same thing, but they have two different motives. Which one's going to stay longer? The one that's only after money, or the one that actually genuinely enjoys the job?
No, I think you're comparing apples and oranges at this point because
Well,
I honestly believe that you are comparing apples and oranges.
Well, I'll explain the correlation here. So, you have an assassin, you have a serial killer.
Right. Yeah, no. So what? No, that's a big fucking leap from assassins to fast food workers because assassins and serial killers.
But you said they do the same job.
They do.
Yeah.
Exactly. No. That's
difference.
still a huge leap from fast food workers and serial killers. You cannot compare.
You're getting lost in that.
No, I know it. No, I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I know where you're coming from when it comes to motive, but that was not a good analogy because either both serial killers and assassins have to be serious about the work. They have to have. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about their motive. It doesn't matter about their motive, but they have for completing the job. Not about completing what job
when
they're
you're trying to make the argument that serial killers should be in the military, serial killers should be assassins. Yes, it does.
No, not
a huge difference.
No, it doesn't. No, when you're trying to make that analogy, no, it does not, because serial killers have this passion, and talk to anyone who has a serious passion about whatever fucking job that they're doing. They're going to do it right because they have a passion for completing the job and whatnot. Serial killers are going to. They also have, on top of the passion of getting the job done right, they also, on top of that, have to make sure that they don't get caught. So whoever's really good at their job, they get the job done right and they get away with it.
Well, they want to get caught. Because that's how they get famous.
No, that's not necessarily the case. That's
yeah,
not.
They do.
No. That's not.
Not with every single serial killer, but you're talking people who are genuinely passionate because they view it as an art.
That's not necessarily the case. Not every serial killer wants to get caught. I mean, it's a common thing, but that's not.
They want to get caught so they can get the credit, so they can become famous.
Some do.
For their art.
Some do. Not every single
one. The ones who are genuinely passionate about doing...
Not necessarily. So, no. Just because you're passionate doesn't mean you want to get caught. Just because you were passionate about...
Well, you want to get credit for what the work you put in.
I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. There are serial killers who do want to get caught.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily a requirement, or not requirement, a characteristic of serial killers, that will happen. That's not an inevitable thing with serial killers. It's not. I mean, it's a common thing with serial killers, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're a serial killer. So I want to get caught. And even if they are passionate about the thing, they don't necessarily want to get caught. They want to have their artwork shown. Doesn't mean that they want to get caught. They just want to have evidence of what they've done. So there's a big difference of that.
Which is why they leave evidence of it.
Right. But if they're really, really good at it, they'll have it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some will be like, all right, I have a goal. I want to kill this many people. And then be shown.
So we go back to the main difference between those serial killers, the ones who do want to get caught and the ones that don't want to get caught. You go back to the main heart of the matter, which is motive, which is the key difference between assassins and serial killers.
Right. So,
which is why serial killers would not make good assassins, because their motive is for themselves, and assassins are for...
That's not necessarily true either. That's not, because
or assassins work for money. I mean, you could...
Yeah, but at the same time, when you go to, if you have good enough skills for a profession or a career. You're
Right.
like, hey, I'm really good at this. I want it to be shown, like, hey, I've done this. I'm really good. Look at me. Look at this kind of shit. Same thing with serial killers. Serial killers could be like, hey, I'm really good at fucking killing people. And I'd like to continue doing that. And if I can get paid to to killing people professionally and secretly, I'll fucking do it. So, like, what's the difference?
Well, the difference is who they're serving. Again, working for somebody and working for yourself are two different things. Two very different things.
I don't think you're looking at it properly. If I was to be on if I was to be on your side of the argument, I would ask the question or raise the question of, or argument or whatnot of why, like, who is their victims instead of who are they working for. It doesn't fucking matter who they're fucking working for. They don't fucking care. They wouldn't care. No, they wouldn't. If they're still the thing with serial killers is they have a specific profile of who they kill and how they kill. They don't give a fuck what, like, as much why they're killing them. They care about who and what. Let's go from the standpoint of a pedophile that likes 8-year-old boys. So if they're like, they go to they do the whole thing of go lay down. They go, they want to do with the them and whatnot. They like them. They have a specific thing. Now, they get caught or whatnot, and they're not allowed to do it anymore.
Getting somewhat lost in the analogy and how this deals with serial killers becoming assassins.
Because serial killers and pedophiles are about the same age, and it's a lot easier to understand.
Not necessarily, because pedophiles are doing it because they love kids. The serial killers are doing it because they love the art, they love.
No. With serial, I guess I should go back to not get too far into pedophiles. That was a little bit.
Yeah, because that was a weird analogy.
For some reason, I thought like going into pedophiles would be a lot easier example to explain. But no, when it comes to serial killers have their own specific. They have a certain reason, and they have a certain not motive, type. I guess you would say they only want to kill a certain type of person, or
some serial killers,
and you fucked me up, or they have a certain type of killing. Like they'll only be like, all right, well, I will go out and kill like
they'll do a calling card basically.
Yeah. Some will just be like, all right, I just want to kill for killing's sake, whatever. And then others will be like, I only want to kill women, and they'll only be able to like kill women. They won't kill men. They won't kill
like in the case of
children.
Jack the Ripper.
Sure.
Well, because he only killed prostitutes who were women.
I don't want to go into that one because we don't know enough information about.
Well, that doesn't matter.
He never got caught, and we don't have enough information. But yes,
using it as an example, it wasn't used as
but
tangent.
Yeah, serial killers only have like a certain type or certain method of killing. So, like, it doesn't matter whether or not they're getting paid to do it or not. They're going to want to only do that. So, if, like, let's say a serial killer with a specific method of killing people is like, they'll only kill people silently with a knife inside of a house. Like that's the only way. That's their fuck, I forget what it's called.
Their calling card?
No. And that's their I watch enough fucking
modus operandi.
I watch enough fucking Law and Order SVU to fucking, I should know this. They're fucking whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's
MO.
That's their MO. They fucking go into houses silently and kill people. So like they're gonna do it regardless. Now, and they also have to have like a day job or some other, means of money.
Right.
So, they have a day job, they're fine, whatever. They even may seem like normal people. However, if somebody was like, hey, I see what you're doing, and you can keep on doing that as long as you can kill these specific people for me, they're probably going to be like, well, I don't need a day job anymore if you pay about the same price.
I would say some serial killers would take the offer, others would refuse.
They did what? Yeah, and you're getting to like technicalities of the depending on what serial killers, the motives and their
because it does depend on that.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like if you could get specific. I'm not saying all serial killers would be great in the military.
What you said before.
I'm saying serial
killers would make good assassins.
They would. That's like as a general statement, not as all. I didn't say all serial killers. I said serial killers
would make.
That's a general statement. I didn't say all. I didn't say all serial killers.
I mean, you can,
God.
Yeah.
Fuck. I didn't say all serial killers would be. I said serial killers as a general statement.
But you can't say it. You'd have to say certain serial killers would make.
You don't necessarily have to say certain ones. You can say serial killers would make them because that's a generalized statement, and then you can get into specific. No, it does not.
Serial killers.
No, it does not.
Yeah, it does.
No. It would assume if you would say all.
Yeah, I mean it's the same thing going back to fast food employees are terrible workers. Not all of them are. But when you say it like
that's a different fucking statement.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
How is that different? It's the same thing.
No, it's not. Because that's another generalized statement.
Yeah. It's a generalized statement about. So what you're saying is.
Yeah, but you're saying a statement about something. It depends on what you're saying it about.
But it's still a generalized statement. And it covers all.
No, it does not call all. It does not call all.
I think you're getting a little bit lost and aggravated over the semantics.
No. I'm trying to. I honestly wish I could be a little bit more sober to fucking talk about this.
A little bit more articulate.
Because, no, that's a huge. Again, it's just like fucking jumping from. Those are two completely different fucking topics.
Like jumping from pedophiles to serial killers.
You can't even throw that in my face because I openly admitted that I made a mistake about that. So you can't fucking do that.
Well, there were plenty of reasons why that was a mistake.
It doesn't. Yeah. I admitted though. Yeah. I admitted about that one, but that's a different story. Again, you can't fucking keep using these small things for your argument to completely solely based on your argument.
To use it to reinforce my points?
You're not reinforcing. You're just using solely for your points.
I think you may have had too much alcohol.
Shut up. No one asked you.
I think you're a little drunk.
You know what? I think you're a little too much alive.
Yeah.
I'll have to come back to when I'm a little bit better of consciousness, but that is a big difference between the statement of serial killers.
I could sit here all day and make my points of why it's not, but
I would definitely be right once I fucking get sober. I'll definitely run
the same way you were right about report and repertoire. Yeah.
You have very baseless arguments on these. You were reaching out.
How is that a baseless argument?
Because I fucking openly admitted that I was wrong for those.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference.
And I was right about those, and I'm right about this one.
No, you're not. You were completely wrong about this one.
It's a generalized statement. It's English. It's the English language. Unless you specify who you're talking about.
Right now, I honestly can't tell if you are just trying to piss me off or you are just this ignorant.
I'm genuinely trying to make my points.
You're not very making good ones? No. And
I think you need to be sober for philosophical debates.
Oh my, no, I mean,
Yeah.
that's not necessarily the case. It's just right now I wasn't prepared for you to run this shit. I wasn't prepared for this kind of shit. We need to change the subject quick before I start getting pissed.
Okay.
Oh my god. I'm gonna make sure that's a fucking note of serial killers versus fast food workers. So that way I know exactly what to come back with.
You have to come back and think about it.
No, I don't. Stop trying to fucking antagonize me.
I'm not antagonizing you. I'm making just generalized
That's
points
exactly
here.
No. Now you're just using the same fucking. Stop! We're switching. We're switching. We're
topics.
Exactly. This is getting off hand. This is getting.
I don't.
Yeah, no, this is getting way out of hand.
That's just
that you actually were antagonizing, but
okay.
Fuck's sake. Oh my god. Oh,
I feel like if
I love how I fucking had those two books to show you, and then we got off on like such a huge tangent on that.
I mean, that's generally what happens.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't expecting all that. I was just like showing you, being like, hey, look at these fucking things. I'm excited to read them.
Well, you never expect a giant like tangent.
No, you don't.
It just kind of comes out of that.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was fucking bad. That went like again. Like I said, I had some stuff to talk about. I don't know where the fuck.
For future reference, though, I think if we, the whole like co-hosting podcast, I think either both of us have to be buzzed or drunk, or neither one of us can be buzzed or drunk.
Right. Well, at the same time, too, you were also kind of late, and you didn't even get a hold of me or anything else.
Well, you were supposed to get a hold of me.
When was that a fucking thing?
Because I'm the one driving your house.
We made a scheduled time of when it was supposed to be.
I didn't know if it was.
We made a scheduled time. We said.
But I didn't. Again, I don't ever drive someplace without knowing for sure if somebody.
So then why wouldn't you text and ask, be like, hey, is this still on?
Because I figured you would call me.
I said when the fucking specific time was. We said.
Yeah.
We said for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
We said for a week and a half it was going to start at 1, or like we were going.
I'm willing to accept my part of the blame for that one, but it was a breakdown of communication on both sides.
I don't know why. When we said multiple times, hey, 1 at 1, we should like get together. Multiple times we talked about it. 1 is where we would like talk, because we planned a time of 1 to what was it, 7.
I could have called at 12 o'clock. You could have called at 12 o'clock. It was a failure on both sides.
I will accept the fact that I was asleep at that point. That's all I will accept.
So you can't really blame me entirely.
I will blame you mostly.
Part of my blame, and it's also part of your blame.
I think it is 70-30.
No.
It is definitely it is definitely not 50-50. If we made if we made a time, we made a plan and talked about it multiple days, about one fucking day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we said it multiple times. And you didn't fucking say anything, hear anything, or whatnot. You didn't fucking do any of that. The only thing about my part was not asking you, hey, when are you coming over? That's only my part. When we made this we said multiple days.
If I make plans with somebody, I have to, like, on the day of, even if we've set it in stone, I still call them about an hour before, because I want to make sure that they remember, and also to let them know that I am over here and I am ready to go. because something could have come up last minute. I could have showed up, and then you could have been doing something. Some emergency.
I feel like you're making a lot of excuses to save face.
I feel like you're a little bit drunk.
And I also feel like you're using that way too much against me. That's such a cheap shot. That is such a cheap shot.
How is that a cheap shot?
Because you're in the wrong. I wish we had a chat. I wish people were here to fucking see this.
Let's get on a positive topic.
Yes.
Let's switch topics. That way, neither one of us are getting on these unpleasant ones.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's hard to fucking tell what to fucking go to though, since I'm sure you didn't think of any topics to fucking go into here. Did you?
I think, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I don't mean this in a bad way. I'm not trying to antagonize you, but my part in this was to help you get set up and be your co-host.
I asked you to come up with some topics.
Yeah, and I told you I would think about it. But again, this is still it's going to be your podcast. This is your baby.
Right, yeah.
So it's like I would think about them, but if I don't come up with any, it's like, well, I've counted on you to take care of that part. Just like you're
right, like I said, I had some somewhere, and I don't know where the fuck they were. I thought I had them on this paper, and is it here? Is it on this one? It said no, that was on that. Yeah, like I said, I had them somewhere. I had some topics to talk about. I don't know. Well, I was also going to have you, like, if, this was going to be kind of like a big thing or whatnot, I was still going to have you be listed or whatnot, or have you contributed. Where the fuck did those go? I have no idea where that went. That's fucking annoying. Oh. I don't know.
Trying to think of some topics offhand.
The main thing that I go to is like games. That's like one of the main things I go to. Main things. And then I was talking to you about which we're not doing on this one because that's going to require more work because you'd have to have like a laptop or something else for it, which is learning things while we talking.
Oh yeah.
I mean that would need to be changed. The name would have to be changed or whatnot, but just like looking, like having a specific topic or finding something out that we don't know about. Video games and everything. That's pretty much my big thing. What I've noticed is that Back 4 Blood is like one of the popular ones right now. Back 4 Blood is like huge. Right now.
I mean, Left 4 Dead had a huge following, so.
Well, I mean, it is Left 4 Dead. It's Left 4 Dead 3.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, because like back then it was like.
Oh yeah, and I remember once they started talking about Back 4 Blood, they started getting big. Like a lot of people started following it. And it's a good game. It's really good. It's a lot different from the Left 4 Dead games.
Yeah.
It's very, and at the same time, I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like they ripped off a lot of stuff from World War Z. I feel like they ripped it off.
I mean, probably, yeah, I would say so, because that was another popular one.
Oi, shitheads, can I help you? Can I help you? Fuck off. Phasmophobia. That's big, and I've watched a little bit of it. I don't get why it's so big.
I mean, I stream it all the time.
I know you do. And like I'll watch a little bit, and I've watched some other people play it, and I don't understand. Like, what is the thing with Phasmophobia?
I think it's because it's different. It's a different kind of game. It's not one that's kind of like it doesn't really neatly fit into one genre of game. It's kind of like a, you know,
So it's kind of like
Like
if Ghost Adventures was actually real, kind of like
I would say if Ghost Adventures was interesting and real, yeah. Like, in all honesty.
Yeah, because oh my god,
I always make fun of them all the time when I play because I'm like, can you give me a sign of your ghostly presence?
oh my god, dude, that still kills me that people actually buy into that show. It's so bad, and people are like, "Oh, man, it's so good. Oh, it's so good." No, it's not. It's fucking trash. It's fake as fuck, and they're
it's terrible.
for the longest time, like I was against wrestling, and I didn't understand it. But at least but once I started like watching it more and everything, I was like, oh, okay, there's an art form.
Yeah, it's like
there's an art form.
It's like movie fight, like
Yeah, it's choreographed. Yeah, maybe fake, but at the same time, there's some real aspect to it, and it, I can get that. They are literally just scamming people for money. That's literally all it is. It's like you can't prove any of this shit, and they're acting like you can, and it's fucking hilarious.
That's why I like to watch the. There's a like a BuzzFeed section, or like a channel or whatever, and they do a lot of games and stuff like that. And that's pretty funny because you have one guy who doesn't believe in any of it, and then you have another guy who like believes in all of it.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a really fun dynamic.
Yeah.
Especially because they investigate like demonic houses and like spirit houses alike. And you'll have the one dude who doesn't believe in any of it. He'll just walk in there and he'll taunt anything that's in there and this and that. Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
It's a funny show.
At the same time, like when it comes to topics too, I've got some good few topics to get into, but I don't want to have those too early. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When we don't have any viewers or anything, nobody who's going to be interacting with us.
Does it save the VOD on YouTube?
What is it? It save it? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It saves it.
I didn't know.
Twitch doesn't.
Twitch does if you select the option.
Right. Well, I'm saying like it doesn't initially save it. Like if you don't do anything, it doesn't save it. But if you do it on YouTube, it automatically saves it.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I didn't want I had a few topics to get into, but I was like, if we don't have any viewers at the moment, I'm not gonna get into them. I don't want to talk about them because there's no point. Like it's a very low likelihood of somebody watching it or anything else. Plus, I also want to talk to people, like chat wise and everything. Because also, that's another. Okay, so we'll go with Twitch. That's a good topic to go to. So I've been streaming on Twitch a lot lately.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I started way back in 2016. 2017 is when I started streaming on Twitch. And from then to now, I never watched other people streaming Twitch. I never did.
I do every now and again.
I never.
Friends.
Never.
Typically.
Never. I've never done it.
Yeah.
And then recently I was like, you know what? Since I want to start making VODs or, video gaming and like whatnot, podcasts, whatnot, my career, start getting into it. I should probably start checking out some other people, see what they're doing, see what they're doing right, and also like, what kind of like building kind of a relationship with them. So that's what I started doing. The very first one, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pick, because you have to. I don't know if you've ever had to browse to look for somebody's.
Yeah.
So I was like browsing the games. I was like, you know what? Back 4 Blood's out, and I've been playing that kind of recently. Maybe I'll find someone there to play with. So I went for Back 4 Blood, and the very first one that I picked, after that I got probably at least 11 viewers from that, because the first person that I found I watched was like listening to him, I was watching his thing and everything else, and I started meeting more people. It's a great community. If you find the right people, it's great fucking communities.
Oh yeah,
great fucking communities. And it awesome thing that happened not last night, a couple nights ago. I was playing The Evil Within because I'm still trying to beat that because of started it for Halloween spooky season and whatnot.
yeah.
So what I did was I was playing that, and what I'll also do to support my fellow Twitch streamers is I'll have them on there because you can have multiple tabs on, and you can have you're basically watching 4 or 5 Twitch streamers on one account if you have multiple tabs open.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I had my buddy Archaic on there on my other one, and then my stream on one, and I'd go back and forth. Well, he had like 10 people or something like that, 10 or 11 people, and I was playing on mine, which I had like 2 or 3 maybe.
Yeah.
And I was having a really shitty time. I was there was a part that was stuck on, and then I finally got past. I was like, oh, sweet, finally, thank you. And I was beaten down. I was like, oh man, I'm close to just getting off. I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. And then I happened to look up, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't realize those on my buddy Arcade says, I see 10 viewers in the full chat. And then right before I look away, I see like out of the corner of my eye, my camera. I was like, wait a minute. That's 10 people. That's me. That's my channel. 10 people in a full chat. What?
Yeah.
Oh my god. And he rated my channel. And I was like, oh my god, that's awesome. It's such a great community because they're so friendly. They're so nice and everything else.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, dude, fucking surprise raids are the greatest. And I was like, yeah, dude. Oh my god, I felt so like I got bad news that day. Anyway, I was already in a bad mood and whatnot, and then they made my night. It was so wholesome. It was such a great night.
And yeah, it's always nice when you find like communities like that.
Yeah, I got so lucky that I found the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like every time like I'll chat with him, and then he's like, oh yeah, you should also check out them, or they'll be in the chat, and then they're on mine, so I'll start talking with, like, I'll hop into theirs and I'll talk to them and interact with them and whatnot. And,
yeah.
It's something else. Like it's all very new to me. It's very new to me. I still don't entirely understand Twitch and Twitch streaming and whatnot.
It took me a while. The only reason I figured out as much as I did about it was because of my buddy who does that's his job is Twitch and YouTube. So it's like,
right.
That's the only reason I had I got ahead of the learning curve, so to speak.
Yeah.
And also because I got incredibly lucky with DistroKid having that affiliate program.
Yeah. 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 I also recently found out that you can host other people's things. And I did not know that. And so what I did was you and my buddy Archaic here.
Okay, well, I appreciate you hosting.
Yeah. So I have both of you on mine to where I'm still trying to figure out how to manage my stream. And once I get more money, I'm also going to probably hire like a social media manager or whatever to manage my things. I mean, just at least enough to where like I'll pay them for like up to a month, be like, hey, thank you for doing all this. Teach me like what you're doing. And
yeah, that's what I was about to say, because it's important to know how to do it yourself.
Yeah,
but, I mean, if because like the only thing that I would ever really hire for somebody or hire somebody to do would be editing, like video editing, because I have no interest in doing that. Like I've tried it, nope. Not gonna do it. Like that ain't happening. But that would be like that. That would really be the only thing I would. Really
I've been looking at some people. And it's like if I didn't have school, if I didn't have all these projects and whatnot to work on, and in this, that, and the other, I would definitely hire a lot more people to work on my social media, work on my editing and everything else, and until like I got used to it and whatnot. But I don't have the money for that,
Yeah.
so I have to um, learn as I go, and it's going to be a lot more rugged since I don't have those people to show me or to teach me or to help me through this. And I also don't have the proper equipment to to do that, and it sucks.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a challenge. Like even with me having my buddy. All right, that's not.
You
I
can,
want your kisses.
you can tell him to fuck off.
Well, the like with my buddy, his is he does video games. His is more video games than anything.
Yeah.
And like with me doing music, it's like there's some crossover with YouTube. There's some general ideas and some general tips that he can give me. But as a whole, it's like YouTube and Twitch, it's like there's only so much that he can show me before it's like, okay, I got to go off and figure this out myself. And that, this, that, and the other. And that's just kind of how it is.
Let's see if we can get someone else to join our podcast to fucking join us and talk to us. I wish I could pause the mic. And shut up. I don't.
Not like the self-promotion.
Hang on. Let's get it. I mean, we don't have anybody, so it doesn't really matter.
I mean, I've had to do that so many times. And even then, that's not a whole lot of avail.
I didn't hear anything that she said.
I'm gonna have to go in a minute. I gotta come over for dinner and I gotta make food. Make sides to go with it. Here I am not doing that.
40 regular grass.
Where's Ryan?
No, fuck it. I was actually I joined their stream last night, and that was pretty fun. With whatever the fuck her name was, Bitter Blonde. That's it. Yeah, Bitter Blonde's good. She's entertaining. Archaic Method.
What's the name of the Tarkov mode? I think it's
Fuck off! You're too popular. I don't give a fuck about you. Bitter Blonde, Archaic Method, and I got a few other people on here. Umi the Clown, Keiki the Clown, and a couple other people that are pretty good. They're pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
They're really good. I find a lot more entertainment. I thought, finding some of these smaller time Twitch streamers and everything, it was going to be.
Yeah, because usually I must not be that entertaining because you only stick around for like 30 minutes.
I don't even stick along for that.
Yeah, I'll stick around for like 5 minutes.
Not even that.
And you're like, hey, what's up? All right, I'm leaving.
Yeah, well, that's what I do with even them sometimes because I don't have the attention span to. Well, that was also at the same time.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting in your stream for 2 hours. It's okay.
Do you actually sit in my stream?
Yeah, remember the other night I don't tune into all your streams, but when I do tune into people's streams, I do watch it for a long time.
Well, I didn't know that too because at the same time I
was talking with you the whole time.
I even said too that like I just said about Twitch streaming, it's new to me, and like I never got into it, like watching people stream. That
was entirely a joke because I
right, yeah,
I do try and stick around. Like if if I know the person, and I do try and stick around for a long time. But
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean, when for the longest time, I would just like at least try and support by like hopping in and being like, "Hey, what's going on?" Follow and do whatever, and then I started learning more about Twitch and what you can do to support some streamers. And like, oh, okay, I can do this and that and the other. And so then I started like having them in my background. You don't necessarily have to like watch them or anything. You just, if you have a tab open for them and you're doing something else, like it also helps too. Just
I mean, that's,
and just like every now and then going back and interacting with them, talking to them and everything else, it works too. And like that's awesome that you don't have to have much interaction with them to support them.
No, I mean, really, it's like a TV show. I mean, if you leave it on in the background, it's like,
yeah, but
I don't really.
I already gave out all my bits, and I didn't realize how hard it is to get bits. I was like, okay, well, I supported those guys apparently.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't regret spending all my bits on those small time streamers because they're also really cool people, and now they're my friends. And it helps support their channels and whatnot. It was funny. I'm still learning about Twitch. So what I did one time. One of them has those things where, so you go to I don't know what these are called, the whatever points. So
the points that you get from watching.
Yeah. So I didn't know this fact, and the person's not online right now to do it. So there was this one thing to where it was like you go in the naughty corner kind of points or whatnot, and I was like, because they were saying something or whatnot or whatever, and I was like, just fuck around and be like, yeah, you go in the naughty corner. I was like, see, you want to go in the naughty corner? I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, if you do that, you didn't put their name, you go in the naughty corner. I'm like, what? Yeah, you're getting timed out for 10 minutes. I'm like, fuck! So I was timed out for like 10 minutes and all of my messages got deleted. I was like, well, shit.
That's funny. Yeah,
I mean, I'm still figuring out some of this stuff, and I'm still having fun with it. But I'm also gaining the attraction to watching my friends, and I am and watching them is becoming more fun because I think Twitch has started to realize more, especially from when I started, that it's making it more interactive, and the more interactive you make it, the more you're going to be able to get your viewers to watch your streams, because
you're going to retain more of your viewers,
right? Because people who go on to Twitch have short attention span. So if you reward them like a certain amount of time, then they'll be more likely to start interacting with you and everything else, and it'll give them more of a reason to be a part of them. And another thing too is viewers love to be recognized, and there's
some that don't. There's some that like kind of like to hang around in the background.
Well, I'm saying the ones who talk and chat and
they want to be recognized.
So I'm saying the ones. I'm saying aside from the ones that don't interact or whatever, just want to
silently support them.
Right. What I'm saying is the ones who do interact and whatnot, they love to be recognized. The one with the short attention spans love to be recognized because it gives them that.
It engages them and it pulls.
It engages them and it gives them that quick moment of serotonin or dopamine or whatever kind of chemical that gets released. Everything.
Yeah. It'd be dopamine. That's the reward.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know enough about this. See, that's one of the things that we should fucking look up when we do the learning things while talking.
You have dopamine. That's the reward risk.
That's one of those things that we're going to do in the learning while talking.
Oh, I mean, well, I can tell you all the neurochemicals.
That's one of the things that we're going to be learning while learning while talking. No, I'm just fucking with you. The only I just don't want to get into that right now. I mean, it's a very interesting topic and subject to go into. I don't have the attention span for that right now.
We should probably write it down. We got it.
Trust me, that's one of those things that's been on my mind for a while. So I know that's definitely going to be something that I'll be. The only reason why I wrote that down is because that's kind of an oddball topic that kind of just came up and
pushed off to the side.
Yeah, so
I mean, honestly, we pretty much we've debated the topic, so I mean, it's really kind of don't really need to revisit it anymore.
With what? With that? Or?
Yeah, with that topic.
No, that's gonna come back up, and once I'm sober, I'm gonna fucking come at you with fucking guns blazing. I'm gonna fucking come at you with that one.
I mean, honestly,
we're not bringing that back up. We're not bringing that back up.
No. What I was about to say was I enjoy, intellectual debates. I mean, I do it all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. When you can have, and the thing is, when you can have an intellectual debate or argument or whatnot, and it's a healthy one where, you both can kind of concede yourself when you realize that you're wrong, or you can learn some stuff, or a healthy argument is fun.
That's why with the intellectual debates, that's why alcohol shouldn't be involved.
Well, it depends on who it is. Some people, very few people can. I can sometimes. I'm not saying I can all the time, but sometimes I'm in a better mood.
I think
it is topic wise. It is topic. It depends on what the topic is. Yeah. Because sometimes I do need alcohol, or not need. Sometimes alcohol helps for certain topics because it's it makes you more relaxed. You're a lot more friendly and everything else. And if it's not serious enough,
alcohol has the opposite effect on you that it does me. Because if I tried to have a debate, it would turn into a fist fight if I had alcohol. Just because I can't.
You're a lot more angry of a person than I figured you for. You're a lot more aggressive than
I keep my composure quite well, though. That's why I can't have alcohol, because that goes out the window and I instantly start throwing fists. I can't drink and have an intellectual debate, because again, it will turn into a fist fight.
Yeah.
I'll just get angry, and
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, I definitely have some friends like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I have the decency to stay away from alcohol, because if I even think that's a topic, or that's something that's going to come up as a debate or something like that, I'm either going to stay way out of it, or I'm not going to drink.
I love drinking with my friends, because a lot of times with certain friends that creates some of the best conversations, because they loosen up and they're like, all right, you know what? I'm more willing to talk about this. I'm willing to open up and everything else. And at the same time, I'm also able to realize we're getting a little too far. Maybe we should probably calm down, because I drink enough to where it's basically a part of my life. I'm slowing down. I have my moments of where I do start to lose control, but I definitely am starting to gain more control and slow down and whatnot. But it's I would be lying if I were to say that it wasn't part of my life. To where my daily life. So
good.
Knock it off.
I want your kisses.
So basically, whenever I'm drinking or I'm drunk, it's another version of me. It's not me, but it's another version of me that I also control. And I have a conscious mind. It's not the same one as me as when I'm sober, but it definitely has some aspects of me when I'm sober. So if something's starting to get to an extreme, I'm like, okay, we need to chill this out. and whatnot. So like,
Well, that's why it's good that we moved on when we did. That's that's why I was like,
Yeah,
we need to get
I
on to
started-
another topic.
I was starting to feel some, like I was starting to get angry and like starting to
Yeah.
have some emotions and starting to get a little bit of resentment towards you. And I was like,
Yeah, and
we need to move that before
that's-
that gets too
yeah,
far.
because that's why I said I'm glad. That's why I said I stay away from alcohol, because if I was like drunk, especially if I was drunk, we have been fist fighting.
Yeah, no, it was like, yeah, I definitely started like. If this was like 2 or 3 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to. I would have like continued on the thing and like and gotten upset. But I've adapted.
Which at that point I would have walked away.
And that might have happened. And
Yeah.
I've adapted and learned to where like I can go against my emotions a little bit and be like, all right, before this gets bad, let's try and avoid this. Like I know you have some feelings and you want to get them out. And
It's an agree to disagree.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
okay,
like we'll move that aside for either maybe we'll talk about it at a better position, or we'll just have one of those things where we won't talk about it to avoid kind of.
I mean, more or less, like I just as a whole, I feel like the whole topic in and of itself is kind of
No, that honestly with that topic, like I said, it's something that and not to get into it again.
No.
Not to get into it again.
we can circle around.
We'll do with the concept of it.
Yeah.
Not to get into it again, but that topic is one of those things that I'm not sober enough or refreshed enough on the information to get into it enough to. Because I mean, those times. Do you ever get those times where it's like you know something is wrong, or something incorrect information, but you for whatever reason it is, you can't explain it, you can't argue about it, you can't
articulate
Yes,
form
you can't articulate
the proper counter argument.
Yes. So
Yeah.
what that. Yeah, that's how I was feeling with that. Like I know this, but it's like my mind is not forming well enough to articulate my argument against this. So I can't argue. Let's get out of this. I can't fight right now. I'm weak. I gotta retreat.
That's one of those things where you back a wounded animal into a corner and it freaks out.
Yeah, basically you use retreating as a war strategy or a battle strategy. That's like so that way you can come back and actually talk about it. And it's like it's not that I want to attack you and like make you feel insignificant or anything. It's just the fact that I want to like give my proper knowledge. I want to come back with what I actually know.
Because that's how new ideas form.
Right.
It's like you're challenging my beliefs, I'm challenging your beliefs.
Right.
And we're both accepting that, on some fronts we're wrong and then other fronts we're right.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I mean, I'm always willing to accept that I'm wrong. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some times to where might take longer, like in the heat of the moment, or some things I don't accept the fact that I'm wrong yet. Right. But I mean, as long as you're willing to start working it out, which that's like one of the main reasons why this podcast has becoming such a passion of mine. Yeah. Is the fact that I want to become a better person. Like, I know I'm a piece of shit. I know I've done horrible things. And what
we all have.
Right. And I know how shitty of a human being I am, and, how many flaws I have. I understand that. Yeah. But with this podcast and with streaming and everything else, I know it goes against my social anxiety, but I want to start working against my social anxiety and start becoming a better person through those. So that way, like, this is going to force me to look at myself and be like, hey, whether you see it on the podcast or if you just see it in your daily life, you need to fix this. Look at yourself. Right. Look at what you have done.
A lot of so I've been doing meditation since, well,
what do you do for meditation?
So when I first started doing it, I would meditation essentially the definition of the act, or at least every definition is different, but the main thing with meditation is basically you're relaxing and you're calming your mind,
Right.
and basically you're clearing it of all thoughts, kind of like you're letting it just kind of flow. And that's essentially what you're doing is you're just kind of letting your thoughts kind of flow out of your head, and everything kind of calms down.
So there's
becomes tranquil.
there is something with. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt like your whole thing. Just to get this out real quick, one problem with me all my life, or most of my life, was the misconcept with meditation is that when it comes to meditation,
You sit in the
you have to be like,
pose. Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
that's
you
not
use a
that's
lot.
not what meditation is.
No, it's
That is not what meditation
No,
is.
it is not.
So, and I feel like that's a bad stigma that really
Yes,
needs to
it
be
is.
addressed.
Oh yeah.
Because there's multiple forms of meditation.
Oh yeah. I've done.
And it's not
all
like,
of them.
and it doesn't even have to be an established form of meditation. It could be whatever it takes to get
Yeah.
you to that state.
Right.
And like
And
sometimes
there's
for
different
me,
states of meditation that you can get into.
yeah, you can even meditate while you're playing a video game, as long as it's a calming. Like if you were playing Minecraft and you're just like in a mind block, kind of like
Yeah.
you're not entirely around, like you're ignoring your whole existence, everything. You're just kind of like in your own head.
That is the one topic I can honestly say that I am both an expert in, and you're never really.
I never even fully understood what meditation was for the longest time. Like what are you supposed to do when you're meditating?
The simplest thing-
meditation, yeah, you're just
So the way that I started meditation was I would go outside because being an incredibly angry person, like all my life, always been an angry person. 2 years old, my brother made me mad. I had to pick up a wooden spoon, cracked him upside the skull with it. He still has a scar to this day. I was 2 years old. I didn't even know,
I didn't even know what anger
I
was.
wasn't even potty trained yet. So or I might have been potty trained, I can't remember. But
I don't know. I was still pissing in my
Point-
diapers.
yeah, point still stands though. I've always been an angry person. I'm always angry. And I'm always, I've always just got that crazy anger that I could just flip out
Right.
and kill somebody.
Yeah.
But so, I had to get a better handle on it. And I started with working out. That's where I started.
Right. Which I mean, that's a good place to.
Yeah,
go to.
it's a good, vent for anger. But I found out the hard way that wasn't enough. So I started with meditation, and I started with kata because kata, tai chi, and meditation.
What is kata?
So kata is practicing your martial arts forms. So that's practicing striking, practicing kicking, and just generally kind of working that balance.
Kevin, let's take a break for a hot second to let these fucking cunts out, because I know they need to go to the bathroom. I also need to call my dad back, so I'm gonna take a break for like 10 minutes.
Wait, you got what?
I gotta let these guys.
Oh, call your dad. Oh, that's
Yeah,
what
I gotta-
I was wondering what you said there. I was like, what?
Yeah, I gotta let these guys out, and I gotta call my dad real quick. So if you wanna, I mean, you can. That's where my fucking soy sauce was. I was wondering where this went.
Nice.
I don't know how to do like a pause kind of like thing.
Is it edit?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, maybe not.
That's fine. Nobody's watching anyway. But I figured like we could pause for a second if you wanna like get up, like stretch and everything.
Yeah. Quick momentary break. That's
Come on,
what
guys.
I like about Twitch though.
Come on, you fucking cunt.
Is you can like swap screens and have like intermissions and stuff.
Hey, update it. Come on. Get in there. Go. Hey, go.
I made it a goal to get to 10 one-arm push-ups with each arm.
I saw that.
That's 5 now.
That's gotta be.
Oh, they're getting easier to do. Oh, all right. Well, gotcha. Alrighty, oh.
So what do you think about changing having the podcast to Sundays instead of Saturdays?
I can tell you with Sundays, it's going to be a little trickier because I go to church with my grandma.
You go to church?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, I mean, it's more or less. It's not necessarily, I guess, for the reasons that a lot of people go. I just like to go because it,
I mean, when I went, it was about the same thing. I went for the.
Well, I didn't go for that. I don't go for that. I just go because that's actually a perfect segue into back to what I was talking about with meditation.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What, I started out doing kata, tai chi, and then meditation.
Yeah.
And the way I started meditation was sometimes I would sit in the lotus position, other times I'd just be sitting down or I'd be laying down. And basically, I just started by just closing my eyes and I breathe in through my nose, out through my mouth.
Yeah.
Doing the breathing exercises. And eventually, I would, I started getting better and better at it and I could do it for longer periods. And now I'm up to a point now where I can do it. I could do it standing up. I could do it sitting down. I could do it laying down. I can do it. And because the more you do it, the easier it becomes to get into that trance-like state.
Yeah.
And it basically becomes kind of, it almost becomes like second nature. You can just glide into that.
Oh yeah. It's a part of your lifestyle, your regular methods of whatnot.
And as a result of clearing your mind and getting into that state, you're forced to look at a lot of aspects of yourself. You start asking a lot of questions, pertaining to not just what you want to do or what, like superficial things, but also really deep questions like, what do I want out of life? What do I want to do with my life? And, a lot of people, when you ask them that question, they might come up with a superficial answer. They might be like, well, I just want to be happy. I want to, live a good life. But they don't get into a truly, truly deep meaning. Yeah.
So that, like I was saying before, when it comes to meditating, I didn't know what the fuck meditating was. Like, my idea of meditating, what I thought it was just like you like chill in like whatever state or whatever they had you in, like position, whatever. Yeah. And then you clear you clear your mind. Like you don't think about anything. You like your mind is blank. That's what I thought meditation was. And so recently what I started realizing was I haven't confirmed this from any like legitimate sources or anything, is meditating is you get into a calm state of mind and you kind of just do kind of a self-healing process to where you think about your life and then you just either you think about your life or you just go to a calm place where you just relax. Yeah. And so for the longest time I was like, yeah, I could possibly meditate. Like I wouldn't mind like just sitting there like thinking about whatever, but at the same time it's like I don't have time for it, but whatnot. But what I started to realize is like I'll set aside some times for even like 2 to 5 minutes of just like sitting down and be like, yeah, and just doing like this and just like thinking, just like setting aside those couple minutes of just healing yourself,
Yeah.
it helps tremendously because you
yeah.
think
Yeah.
about a lot of things. You think about you think about your life, you think about what you're doing, you think about your job and your position in life, and this, that, and the other, and it's very useful. And meditation doesn't even take like a long time like people think it does.
No.
Like you can just do it again for like a couple minutes.
I can get into the meditative state in. I've done it in less than 5 minutes before.
So when I what's funny is when I went to the leadership conference, not this past weekend, I think, but the weekend before.
Yeah, I think it was the weekend before because you told me about it.
No, it was last weekend.
No, what was last weekend?
Yeah, it was last weekend. Because it was last Friday.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so when I went there, the first seminar that I went to, because like it wasn't like, I don't know how many conferences you've been to.
Not many.
Yeah. So
I don't go to very many.
with normal conferences, what you'll do is you'll have some seminars that either you'll schedule to go to, or they'll just have like an option of like 3 to 8, however big the thing is.
Yeah.
So, but since it was just Clark State and they're just starting it, they only have like a couple. They had a few guest people, whatnot. It wasn't too crazy, nothing like super organized or anything like that. I mean, it was good. It was really good for what they had and whatnot. But they just had Melinda, and you know who Melinda is, right?
No.
She's the therapist counselor or whatever for like she's basically the school counselor, like for mental health and everything. Like,
okay, well, that's probably why I didn't go see her. I mean, it's kind of ironic, but my dad's side of the family like has a lot of like mental problems that run in the family, but overall, and I say this with a lot of caveats, but what?
the
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I know the trash can over here somewhere.
But I mean, I say this with a lot of caveats, but out of all of my dad's side of the family, it's like mental wise, my mental stability is pretty, now that I've actually found my passion, I know what I want to do. It's pretty it's pretty stable. Now it's subject to change, but overall, it's like a lot of my counseling comes from doing the meditation and kind of
right,
like doing those things.
Well, Melinda is like the therapist counselor or whatever that you have at Clark State for free. You can walk in or like schedule an appointment, and then Callie Divine, whatever. She's a trio counselor and whatnot. Yeah. Well, they had a seminar. That was the first one that I did, was for self-help, in leadership, like how to take care of yourself and whatnot, free yourself from stress. Well, there was this one method or tactic or I can't think of the word, that they said to do to help you relax and whatnot. And basically it was just, go to your happy place kind of thing. Yeah. That's basically what it was. It was like they had I mean, it's a good tactic. It's a really good thing to do. But, which I don't mind to do. The only time that I would do is to go to sleep. But I didn't do it then when everybody else in the room was doing it. Everybody else in the room was doing it but me. But I have a specific reason why I didn't do it. But what they did was, they had a beach noise, the waves crashing and everything.
See, I've been to the beach. That's not my happy place.
That's what. Well, that's not my normal happy place, whatever. But I mean, it's not a bad place to go to. It's a really calming, but they had the waves. That's what they had. They had the wave noise, and then what they did was, imagine yourself in, a rainforest or a forest or whatever, and then you would come in, and then you would like go out of the forest. Imagine yourself like being in the forest and like coming out. You see a light and everything else. You see sand and like, and so what I want you to do is like first start from your toes and relax your feet, and then your legs and everything else. I'm like, so this is what, like, because I realized this a few years ago is like one of the main problems is like mentally relaxing your physical body, like letting go of your physical body. Like, if you're tensed up, just like let it go. Like, think about it, let it go. And like if it's like super tense up, let it go. And like that's a common problem, and that brings me to the whole topic of people who are in their mid to late 20s or even their early 20s. People are doing this. Is like, I'm so old. Oh my god, my bad friend. Shut the fuck up. If you're in your 20s, you have no fucking reason to complain about your thing. No. If anyone is watching this at any point in time, quit being a bitch about being in your fucking 20s. I don't want to hear about it. Because, like, I have a buddy.
This man's in his 40s.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually in my 20s. No, like, I see so many Facebook posts, and I hear so many people complaining, like, oh, I'm getting old. And I just look at them like, are you fucking serious? Yeah, I've done a lot of fucking work, and, like, you need to take care of yourself.
Yeah, we're barely out of the gate.
Yeah, like, we are still fucking young, and people are so afraid to turn 30. I'm like, why? You're still fucking young! If this was, like, 200 years ago, yes, I'd understand. I'd be like, I get it. You're afraid to turn 30 because you're at half your life. We can live up to 100.
Oh, more than that. That's like 60% of your life right
there.
Oh
my god, dude! Like, people bitch so much, and it drives me fucking insane. Stop being a little bitch. Fuck. Like that drives. Like, I get it. If you're past 30, like you're mature enough to know what's going on. Still, kind of stop being a bitch a little bit. Yeah. But if you're in your 20s, you have no reason to bitch about your physical stability unless you have a legitimate reason. You know, like if you were born with a birth deficiency a defect, if you have like some kind of physical disability, or if you got actually legitimately physically injured, not just like, oh, I worked at this place for so long and like it hurt my back because the way that's your own fucking fault. I don't want to hear it. Yeah. You can do things about that. You can find things.
But that's a whole rabbit hole to get into.
Yeah, exactly.
Back
so
to
like
the meditation.
Yeah, like go into that fucking like state. Like it doesn't take very much to get into that. But that was what they did. They taught they were talking about. I was like, you know what? This isn't rap. This is very nice. I can see myself relaxing and even falling asleep to this, but I'm not going to do that because I'm in a public place and I'm not going to let my guard down in a public place and relax. No, fuck that. I don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Like, typically, the only time that I get like that, like, I don't like having my back to the door. I will say that. I don't like having my back to the door.
Yeah, I've got a couple
things. But as long as
I do that too.
As long as I have a reflection that I can watch the door in, I'm fine. Because I always like use the reflections, and I'm always looking around.
When it comes to that, I like to be at the very corner, like seeing the whole room, whatnot. Yeah. My buddy does the same thing. He'll like survey the room. He likes to be back at the corner and see everything that's going on, which I completely understand. But the thing is, I don't like not being in that position. I don't like not being in the back of the corner, seeing everything else. But at the same time, I'm a lot more aware of my surroundings than, not to sound like, super arrogant or whatnot, but I'm a lot more aware of my surroundings than probably 80% of the population.
Oh yeah. Because half the time they're down here doing this.
Well, no, not even that. I'm not just saying about those people either.
Yeah.
I've always been like that since I was a kid. I can't think of a single person that is more aware than I am of my surroundings and myself.
I'm probably not more aware, but I'm probably just as aware as you. Because whenever I enter a room, I'm always looking around.
But
that's why I very rarely.
Well, it's not even that though. Like I'm not saying that you're a lot less. I'd probably say you're close to me, but I wouldn't say you're as me. Because, and the reason why I say this is because you may survey the area or whatnot, but
well, I do more than that. But.
With my anxiety and a lot of some of my knowledge and whatnot, and from like growing up alone, and like I grew up basically by myself. So what I did was I had to understand how other people operated because I didn't have that social interaction with a lot of people. So I grew up for probably, I'd say, at least 14 to 16 years of just surveying people, like watching other people, understanding how they work, watching a lot of movies and TV shows and video games and everything else. Like going.
Well, the problem with movies and TV shows and games is they can accurately depict people.
You still pick up on like some. They'll still tell you some things. Like I mean, I learned the things that were false. Like it took me a while, but I learned the things that were false. And whatnot. But I had to learn from watching other people. So I don't just survey people. What I'll do is, one of the very first things I do is I do like a quick scan of like the whole room, and then I'll still keep do like a constant check of like everything that's going on, and everything else. My hearing is my hearing's not the greatest, but what it does do is constant, just out of a instinct, is just constantly listen for any changes and what a normal interaction.
Most people's brains are hardwired for that.
Yes,
that's an evolutionary
adaptation. Yes, no, I understand that.
Yeah,
but what I'm saying is it's constantly just on high alert. It's constantly Well, the cocktail party. Yes, but the thing is, most people are like, well, if something changes, I'll be like, oh yeah. No, me, it's just constantly very, very, very slight changes.
Yeah.
It's got my entire body is a higher sensitivity to any kind of changes because of my anxiety. It's super high into where I'm worrying about
at that point, and I don't mean this in a bad way or anything, but at that point it's less that you're always observant and more that your anxiety keeps you at a high level of
alertness.
Yeah. Because you're always tense and you're always you're never relaxed.
Because I've had, which I didn't realize, I didn't even know what anxiety was until I was 17 or 18. And I especially didn't know that I had it. So I didn't realize it until a late age. And what I finally realized around 20, I'd say within 3 years of being 20, what I realized was I have a very high sense of anxiety. It's bad. Yeah. I knew something was wrong with me. I didn't know what it was, but it honestly, if I would have known around 17 that I had a bad case of anxiety, a lot of my problems would probably be solved by now.
Yeah.
Social anxiety, I had terrible social anxiety. Social anxiety was terrible. If you have social anxiety when you're young,
I know.
Yeah. Exactly but I'm constantly on high alert. But now, the anxiety doesn't affect me as much because I've learned to deal with it. But I still try and keep that sense of instinct of being the state of alertness. I still keep that whole of high state of alert of some small change going to happen. So if I hear way off in the distance, all the way on the other side of the room, somebody drops a fork or something, also look back and be like,
yeah.
and it's very hard to hear or whatnot. If I hear the slightest sense of changing, I'll still be like, like checking. And I may not do this, but I'll be like, okay. And then, like I'll make it nonchalant because I'm also not trying to like, alert the other person I'm, with because of that social anxiety, like.
Yeah, you're afraid of doing something wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying that I'm not saying that you don't have a high state of awareness. It's just
your anxiety keeps you tense. Your anxiety keeps you constantly on alert.
Yeah, and it's not just because of that. It's also because since I grew up being alone and having to learn a lot of stuff on it alone. I had to learn on how to survive being alone and not having anyone else support me or like have my back or like tell anything. So I constantly have to be like, I need to know what is going on where I am at. So I'm constantly like, I need to be aware. So again, I'm not saying that I'd say
I'm not as on alert as you are.
Yeah. So you'd say like,
but I am if the slightest change.
So let's say average is like, I know this isn't true. Let's say average alertness is 40 to 50%. You'd probably say about 70%.
70 to 80%, depending on the place. I'm.
And then to me would be like 80 to 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you agree that I'm a lot more aware of my surroundings and everything. Not a lot. Yeah, I'm more aware of my surroundings.
You're more alert. You're more like you're less likely to kind of brush off small little things that I would be like, okay, it's just this or it's just that. Because your anxiety is like, oh my God, what was that?
Well, that's funny that you bring that up. So when it comes to small little things that come up, with me being so alert about my surroundings and like hearing things, so it's not just all, everything else.
I just meant that because the fork,
right. Well, small little things. I'm more likely to notice those small little things, but at the same time too, I process that stuff a lot faster because I do listen to such small things. So it's like, I'll be like, shh, because I mean, if this was like 4 or 5 years ago, I probably would be like, whoosh. But now it's like I also think about where I'm at, what place setting it is, what kind of sound it is. So I'm like, shh. And then, which it's funny too because the last place that I worked at, there was a fire underneath one of my machines. So I was looking, because I've worked at a lot of places where fires happen and whatnot. I was looking at it for a few seconds, like, should I'm gonna go get a manager. I'm looking at him like, and I go to him. He's like, I go to him and I'm like, hey, there's a fire underneath my machine. Is that supposed to happen? He's like, wait, there's a what? There's a fire? And then he starts running. And then he thought it was so funny how calmly, nonchalantly I was like, is there supposed to be a fire? Because honestly, in normal situations, there, people would like freak, oh my God, a fire, like go and like go to the closest person. I'm like, but one, since I've worked in so many places, and two, since I've like thought through a lot of processes of like high stress, anxiety, and whatnot, like I'm able to process high stress situations. I'm able to process that stuff a lot faster than most people because I've dealt with that a lot, and I think about that a lot. So it's just that I'm constantly being aware, and it's very, very stressful. That's like
I was about to say that's one of the drawbacks of being more aware than most people, though, is you're putting yourself in a much higher stress state.
Oh yeah,
to where you're always stressed out, and that wrecks your body.
That is one of the top 3 reasons why I drink so much.
Yes.
Yes,
And that's what I was just about to say, because that's one thing that I learned how to do I guess studied, something like that.
yeah.
Because I'm an extrovert. I like talking to random people. I like talking to strangers. I don't care.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me. You know, I'll go into
You know,
I'll go to a party. I don't know anybody.
that
And
not to interrupt you, but we'll at some other point, at probably another podcast or something, we'll go into introverts and extroverts because
that's a whole nother topic.
I'm just saving that. I'm just saying that for now. Like we'll say that for another time because that's a whole topic that I don't want to get into. But go ahead.
But basically, because I've dealt with people and I like dealing with people and I like really, I guess, meeting new people and making new friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've had to. I really thoroughly enjoy reading body language and analyzing people and taking a step further with basically creating a whole like psychoanalysis profile of people.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to, especially nowadays.
Most people don't do it because most people don't really care.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily that they don't care. They just don't think about it too much. They don't realize how much
it's low on their list of priorities.
Yeah, they don't realize how much that comes into play of it become building a rapport and whatnot.
Yeah.
Do you want a drink?
No, I'm good.
No.
Yeah. Staying way away from alcohol.
All right, you stay over there. Yeah, no. People don't think about who they talk to.
No.
There was something that you just said that I forget because I was creating a drink and I was also thinking about something else. I'm trying to think of what it was that I wanted to get into.
Well, anyway, and then talking about the whole composure thing, basically
body language.
Yeah.
That's something that I want to get into. We'll talk about that whenever you're done with your.
Well, how much time do we have? Oh, wow, it's 2 hours.
Yeah, what we expected for like at most 3.
Podcast. Well, the only thing is that's kind of a long podcast.
Yeah, well, I mean, oh shit, we finally got somebody watching.
Oh, hello, viewer.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, yeah, I was figuring like at most like we'll do 3, and then like for other times like if we happen to like go into longer ones because there's nothing wrong with having like long podcasts.
I would say three at max.
Yeah, 3 at max. Like with special occasions going more because I mean
maybe doing like a stream of like a
because you can make like, oh well they're gone. You can make like a 2-episode podcast of like one stream because I've listened to some of those 2-episode podcasts and they're very fucking interesting because of the content that they have. Just depends on the content and the the attitude and the social interaction and everything. But you can do that.
But anyway, so with like the whole like I love reading body language because 70 to 80% of human communication is nonverbal. It's all in the body language. It's all in the the way people, their mannerisms, and it's also in the way that they just present themselves.
Which that's a lot of their communication. And people don't realize that. People don't realize how much communication goes into the body language itself.
That's why texting is such a. I hate texting. It's such an inefficient way of communicating.
Yes. I don't like texting people I don't know because like there's a lot of times like I want to say something to somebody in a certain way. And it's like, well, they don't understand they don't know what I'm trying to say. Like if I say this, they're not going to get it the same aspect of what I'm trying to portray.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like texting too much. And it's also one of the biggest reasons. Like, I mean, I prefer texting over calling too.
Not me.
Oh
for a
fuck!
company.
I fucking love texting over calling because
Ugh.
calling it's a instant. It's an instantaneous conversation that's going on that can't read your body language. At least with texting, you can think out what you're going to say. Be like, oh well, this is going to. Oh well, they can't read my body language. Well, let me think out how I'm going to say this and how this is going to be perceived. With calling, it's like constantly like.
But you're still getting way more. You're still getting a lot more. I guess you would call it nonverbal communication.
The only
than
beneficial
texting.
benefit that you're getting from calling somebody is
You're getting the tone of their voice,
your tone,
and the way that they're speaking, and the way that they're saying.
Which there's nothing wrong with that if you are comfortable with your instantaneous conversation skills.
Which I'm an extrovert, so it makes sense that I would be. Yeah.
So like it's such a shitty kind of thing. Like especially like with people I don't know.
But the problem is,
even
we're
with
starting
people
to
I
border
do
into
know.
extrovert versus introvert.
Right. Okay.
We're starting to border into
Okay.
it.
Yeah. So, going back to
body language.
Yeah. That's such an important thing to know because, people don't realize how important that really is. In multiple languages too. Especially like sign language. And some other things. You have to be able to go off of people's reaction. And everything else.
Because that's the way that I pick up new words and new languages.
If you know me, I don't think you know me as that as well as like some of my other friends.
Yeah, probably who have known you long.
Right. Yeah. So I'm a multi-personal kind of I have a lot of personality.
Yeah, you have a lot of personality.
Yeah. So
I'm the same way.
Yeah. So I'll be kind of like a different person to somebody else, but and then there's like very, 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 very few people to where I can be like any of them two in front of them. There's some people that I can be like, oh, I can have a few different personalities. Like, all right. And then
but you gotta hold a few back.
Yeah, you gotta hold like a bunch of people, but and it's like, it really fucking sucks too because it's like you want to start like bringing that person out. It's like they don't know me as that. No. So
and you don't know how they'll take it.
I was gonna say you don't know how they're gonna react to that.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is like, you get a lot of how people talk and what they say and everything else. But what you don't get off of people is if you don't see it, is their body language, because their body language tells so much. Like people can say whatever the fuck they want to say.
Yeah.
But unless they are psychotic, and like I'm not saying this in a derogatory way, unless people are psychotic, I think that's or a sociopath, you're not going to. You're going to be able to tell a hell of a lot more off their body language than what they're saying or how they sound, because their body language tells it's the whole fucking age-long question or statement of a picture tells 1,000 words. Yeah, like it's that whole.
But it's kind of nice though, because if you know body language. Mm-hmm. Then you can misdirect people with that body language. If you know body language very well, and you're like, okay, they're thinking I'm this way, but in reality I'm hiding that and I'm this way.
Right. Yeah.
It's like a way to throw them off your scent.
And sometimes I feel like I'm kind of a sociopath because I know how to manipulate people very well with my body language, with how I talk, because but at the same time I also realize I've got high anxiety, and I read people so fucking well. And another thing is, I get it. people I really do enjoy being around, I get attached to so fucking quickly. A lot faster than a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, like, and the one of the reasons is I'm able to read people. I'm able to read people within the first hour of knowing them. Like that's probably like a few hours ahead of most people because like I'm just like I'm reading their body language, how they're dressed, how they're talking, what they're doing, and everything else. Like I'm looking at everything, and like at the same time, on a daily basis, I'm thinking like, how do normal people see other people? How do normal people like read a lot of social interactions?
Yeah.
Because like I see a lot of things in a higher level than other people, like and most people, because I'm just like, how the fuck do people see the normal world?
It's really because the problem with that line of thinking is you begin to underestimate people. And because a lot of people are aware of the very things that
Right.
we're talking about. They're very aware of that.
Right, yeah. And
They just don't talk about it as much as, or elaborate on it.
that's another thing. Well, yeah, no, that's something that I came to a conclusion a couple years ago, and and that is still a part of the whole. How do people still see it? Thing because like I've that's still a part of my thought process because I still think of like, oh well, they probably still see this, but there's like 10 to 20 fucking different things that probably they don't see. And then I also add into the input of, there might be 5 to 10 of those 20 different fucking things that they still see, which is still makes them possibly crazy, but not as crazy as me or what I perceive what I perceive myself to be as crazy.
I get where you're coming from because the like when you think like that and you're kind of you have so I think like this and then other people think like that. The problem with that line of thinking is it kind of helps like open that gap and kind of like proliferate it where it's like I'm here and normal people are here, and it separates yourself from the world and kind of makes it harder almost to kind of interact with people because you're like, oh, I just don't understand them, and it's like you kind of get caught up in that.
I mean, I'm old enough now. Again, if this was like 5 years ago, I'd say like I completely agree with you. But since I don't know what it is. Like I don't know what it is. I'm able to understand. Okay, so I think the average person. This is no science. No established scientific discovery or whatever. I think the average person within the first day of meeting people understands 10 to 20% of the person that they meet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'd say that. So, but I think when it comes to me, and again with some of the stuff, and let me just make this as a sidebar. I honestly say that I have a higher intelligence than the average person. I'm not saying that in like a
egotistical way.
Yeah, I'm not saying that in egotistical way. I'm saying that as in honestly a problematic kind of point of view because if it was an egotistical. Yeah, I have to like get you gotta have to get those kind of like
gotta get the slurs out.
You gotta get that kind of and then you refresh your main. So honestly, if that was an egotistical form of way, I would I'd be in a lot better place. I'd have a lot better money. I'd have a lot better status and whatnot. I'd be in a lot better place in life. But I'd also probably be more likely to, be a little bit more looking down towards other people. Coming from more of an stop it,
Like
quit
a-
being a butthole.
A condescending way.
Yes. But I say it in a way of more of a problematic kind of thing because I understand the world. Stop now. Well, sometimes you have to because they'll whine for no fucking reason. They do. Like they'll I'll take them out and I'll give them water and everything else, and then they'll just like, mm, mm, they'll start whining. It's fucking. I say it as more of a problematic sense because it's for the longest time I've thought of ignorance is bliss because it's not always
And
the
in a
case.
lot of ways it is.
Yeah. And I mean some points like it sucks to be ignorant because it like some of the joys in life to know more about it would like make you more happy, but but with the overall aspect, yes, ignorance is bliss. And for the longest fucking time, that's how it is, and I just because I understand so much evil, and I understand so much concept, and I understand so much why these shitty people are the way they are, and I feel bad for them, and also am angry against them. Fuck off. Hiccups, and it's kind of like a dilemma. You know how to solve like a lot of problems, but you don't know how to fix it. It's kind of like that kind of dilemma.
You're aware of a lot more problems than most people.
Yeah, I'm aware of what people doing, and I'm aware of why they're doing it, and I'm also aware of how to fix it. And it's also like I know how to fix all these problems, but there's so many people like there's so many situations of like, oh, I can do this, that kind of thing.
I think my thing is like I could sit here and talk about how I learned to read before I could walk. I knew every bone in the human body before age 5. Knew all the planets in order and like their temperature.
Did you actually know every bone before you were 5?
Yeah. Yep.
How is that?
Because I taught myself to read, and I can remember the process of doing it. Because what I would do is my mom would show me words.
Yeah.
But I would also hear. I would also listen for the words that they would say, and I don't know how, but I would correlate it somehow with the words that I would see. Because I would pull my mom's because she had medical textbooks.
Right.
She was a nurse.
Gotcha.
So I would pull them down and I would open them up and I'd start reading them and I learned how to read.
So just like before you go into that, it's just like I know how to read people, what they're doing and everything, and a lot of things, like I know how to read people and how they're going to act and whatnot, as well as I can learn a lot faster than just about everybody with concepts and any job. I can hop on and be like, if you tell me, I will learn faster than just about everybody.
Well, and the same thing, my original point. So I could say that, or I could say how I went from not knowing what the hell a crane hoist even fucking remotely looked like to being able to wire A's, B's, and C's. Remote services, blah blah blah, within 3 months. Actually, within 2 months. But
or just like me, how the very first job that I did was deburring this part. You know what deburring is, right?
I know the word, but I can't remember.
So deburring is basically like if you have a metal part, there's like these metal shavings that are round.
Yeah,
and then you're just getting this. So I went from deburring a part to actually manipulating this thousands of dollars. I actually don't know how expensive this machine was. 2 of these things, manipulating each movement of this probably at least $10,000 to $100,000 machine movements to fractions of a millimeter.
Oh, I don't want your lovin's.
Knock it off.
What are you sniffing at?
Go lay down.
Fractions
Fractions of a millimeter within
Yeah.
within like a few months.
But my original point, so because we keep getting off on these tangents.
I just want to make myself look good.
But like talking about the reason I made those points, it wasn't like an ego thing. But
Right.
I don't
yeah.
consider myself to be of higher intelligence than anybody because intelligence is entirely
circumstantial.
Yeah, I mean it's circumstantial and it's
Do you think that anybody can? I don't know if I want to say a genius, whether or not, but I think do you think anybody can anybody can prosper in some form or another? Like anybody can have a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. So that's one theory that I have, and it's not scientifically valid. I feel like that should be. I feel like somebody should do a scientific study on it.
The thing, and going back to my point, I don't consider myself to be of higher intelligence than anybody. I again, intelligence is circumstantial, and it's an eye of the beholder and whatnot. So
Right.
it's like I just look at myself as I'm a quick learner. I learn fast.
Yeah.
And I just generally I love learning.
People have a certain set of, people advance in whatever specified skills that they have of their own. Like some people are a lot faster at learning this or a lot faster at learning this and retain this much knowledge.
Now, I do believe there are some people who just generally speaking, they learn faster than others.
I think honestly, when it comes to information and learning and skills and whatnot, it's just a matter of how much you're willing to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this though: some people's minds, they're more mechanically hardwired. They're more hardwired for fixing things with their hands. And then there's other people who are much better with conceptualized thinking and abstract thoughts, which is creative and this and that. Nobody's perfect at one or the other.
There's studies on that too, and there's and when it comes to conceptual thought and I don't know what all with all this stuff is, but I was just making sure that my clock was still on time with that. But there's some people that just learn a lot of things faster. Like I'm a kinesthetic visual learner, but concepts I understand a hell of a lot better than most people. Like I don't know what it is. I just understand concepts so fucking quick. That's why when
I love whenever I say the word theoretical particle physics to people, they freak out.
Yeah,
and that's one of those abstract thoughts.
It's just one of the things that it's how your brain is hardwired and everything. People, and then another thing too. I can't remember what it's called, but a very interesting thing that was just recently, not too long ago, discovered in science. I think it was 2012, maybe, that they discovered it, was of how there's, I can't remember the population percentage was, but people cannot, there's a certain percentage of people that cannot perceive conceptions in their head. Like they can't visualize.
Yeah, because that's a recent newfounded skill.
Yeah, that was I wouldn't consider that a skill. I think
it is, because it's so over time. People, for example, this was actually off of Joe Rogan podcast. It was, however, so many years ago, people couldn't count numbers in their head, and they couldn't read. No, that's what it was. They couldn't.
That sounds
open a book. No, they couldn't open a book, and they couldn't. They had to read aloud.
Well, no,
because they couldn't read in their head.
I think that's a separate thing, because this is
Well, it's a separate thing, yeah.
But
what I'm
it's
saying is,
related to it.
yeah, the point
so
is,
these
like,
people
it's a
can't.
skill that
These people
have
cannot have
developed.
visual dreams. Like when they dream, they don't have dreams.
Yeah.
Like they can't visually see it. And when somebody says, "Think of an apple," they can't see an apple in their head.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I've thought about that because I can sometimes see things in my head, and then other times it's just like it's not there. So I don't know if that's. I mean, that's a whole separate thing, but that whole concept is just like so fascinating to me that
Yeah.
and that goes into the whole like thinking process of how people's brains work and how little we've dove into that scientifically, like how little studies were. And another thing too, I don't know if it was today or yesterday that I was thinking about this. When people say studies have shown, or something along those lines, people will automatically think like, oh well, this doesn't happen, or this whatever, because studies have shown. No, it means that we haven't done enough research. We're not saying that it doesn't happen. We're not saying that this.
It's a theory.
We're not saying that if you do this and we say studies haven't shown, or we don't have any research on that. We're not saying that doesn't work. We're just saying that we haven't done research on it. Like people think when people say that scientists definitively say that. That's not a possibility. Like that's impossible. And I will admit I was one of those people that were like, oh, that's what they're saying. No, like that's a myth, or that's a bad stigma. Where they're just saying like, we haven't done enough research. And I think one of the things is that people don't realize how hard it is to do a study, and how much time and effort it does to do a study, and how much data in, like, that's one of the things too. Like people don't realize what studies are. And I think that's like a huge problem with today, is that especially with a lot of things going on, especially with everything that's gone on with the past couple of years, is people don't realize what a study is. People don't realize what researchers do. People don't realize what scientists do and how they go on, and they just go by what they hear. They're like, oh well, this is this. But and when people say like, oh well, scientists say this, and again, the longest time I didn't realize what that meant. But once you know what that means, when scientists say this, what they mean by when scientists say this, what they're actually saying is their research is what they said. And what it takes to do research is they do study after study after study. And what to do a study after study after study is they test one thing in one controlled environment, and this and this and that. And what people expect is to have an absolute answer. And they expect scientists to have an absolute answer.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we don't have any form of science, any form of knowledge that we have today or ever have today. We have no form of knowledge that is absolute. And I feel like people rely on too much of what scientists say and think that it's absolute.
Yeah.
And they don't realize that there's no such thing of what we don't have that kind of, we don't, that is honestly in the form of absolute. We are maybe 5% close to absolute on anything that we have.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that we know for sure. It's like there's certain things. So like our bodies need water to survive. That's a proven scientific fact. It's
I'd give that one 40%. Because of.
I mean, if you don't, I mean, you can go right ahead and test it. Don't drink.
No.
I mean,
when I say that, I mean like there could possibly be another source that we could use instead of water.
Well, the fact of the matter is that doesn't matter. The fact is well, from what we know, and basically, I mean, it's basically our reality is if a human being doesn't get water, then they die. If they don't get some form of H2O, they die. That's an absolute fact. You know, it's like you can't.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that's one of those things that are just like almost.
Or that the Earth, you know, the Earth is round. Yeah, you can try and refute that all day. The fact of the matter is, you know, we've seen it. It's tried and true. It's tested.
Right, and with that, I agree 99.999% of that. But there's still that very very few 0.0 whatever percent.
I mean,
percentage of like maybe there's this other shape. That what I'm saying is there's always going to be that. And this is what it comes to with you know, all of these other things of, you know, these scientists not having the full truth and what there's always going to be new information that
there's always going to be more questions in science.
There's always going to be that new information, not necessarily questions. I mean, yeah, there's going to be questions, but there's always going to be this new information that we don't know, haven't discovered yet, or going to discover, or never yet.
Sure.
So that's one of the things that people don't realize is that in when it comes
we do, you know, adding on to that point, we do have to have a foundation.
We have to have a validation. We have to have
we have to have a structured foundation of thought.
And this I've actually discussed with one of my friends, and it almost fucked me up because if you don't have that kind of like set law of thought, that, you know, structure of like
you basically become schizophrenic because you can't tell, well, is this real?
That's what I was trying to discuss with my friend. Like, you know, you have to have like a certain, because he was trying to challenge all these meta things and everything else. I was like, dude, you have to have some kind of boundary, some kind of structure to base all of your ideas on, so you know what is real and what is not, or else you will go insane. And that's another thing too. Yeah. Like, that's one of those things too. Like, people also are like, I don't know if it's necessarily directly related to that, but also of you know, people are like, oh, well, you know, there's this new, you know, evidence of like that disproves this. Like, you do realize that there's so much evidence that, like, over time, like, we just go off of whatever we fucking know. Yeah. And people are like, oh, well, they completely discredit or Alright, hang on a second.
Pause the stream.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Oh man, I almost knocked the camera down.
Did it really go down?
No.
Oh.
No, I said you almost did. Alright, quick stream break. Fun times. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming. What are you whining about? No, that wasn't an invitation for everybody to jump on me. Oh man.
Excuse me. I'll take that refrigerator. That's nasty. Yeah, you go. Huh. I'm gonna get one of these. Hi. Hey, what are you doing? Stop! Hey, quit. How are you? Quit. Sweet. Oh, God. Stop now. Stop now. Jeez. Don't have to yell. Sweet. Oh, God. All right. Well. It's never fun. It's never good fun. Have a great night.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's all good. Where were we?
You know, I honestly can't remember.
Yeah, I figured that we would finish on whatever topic that we were talking about.
Stop it now!
I figured that we would finish on whatever topic that we were talking about and, like wrap that up. And I don't think, like me exiting would be a good thing to end on. Stop it!
Jeez.
I'm trying to remember, what were we talking about?
I don't really remember.
Damn, so I still gotta fucking stream after this too. I was really hoping that you were going to remember. That sucks.
Well, me remember.
I was dealing with other people. You were sitting here in silence.
Yeah.
How people learn, how people thought, what we did with body language, and then
It's like we went off on so many tangents. It's like
well, yeah.
it's kind of hard to.
Let's
track of all.
do just like for the last less than 20 minutes. Let's just do something like more casual and just kind of like a chill kind of thing. So, have you ever gone? Have you ever? I don't know if I talked to you about this. Have you ever done disc golfing?
What is it?
Disc golf.
No.
That is a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be.
I'm terrible at frisbee.
I was too. And then, well, regular frisbee, yeah, I'm awful at it. But once you start playing disc golf, once you get the right discs for it, it's pretty fun. It's a lot of fun. I actually found, I think 3, and because me and my buddy, we went to Snyder Park. Yeah.
I was just notified my message to you didn't go through on the text.
Yeah.
There's more poop in the bathroom floor.
Okay.
And it's not mine.
Right.
Just kidding.
All right. We went to Snyder Park. We go to a couple different places. Usually we either go to Snyder Park. That's the main place. We go to Snyder Park, and then there's a couple places in Yellow Springs that have some nice places. And I honestly, for the longest time, when I found out about disc golf, I was just like, let's say, it seems dumb. Like, I wouldn't be good at it. Like, it seems like a lame game. Trust me, you give it a chance. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fucking fun. I found like a few in the river at Snyder Park. Like, I picked up a few. We go in there and we act like, honestly, when we go, when it's warm enough, we don't give a fuck. If we see one in the river or if we see some somewhere, we're fucking getting it.
I mean, yeah.
Fuck everybody else. They'll also have names too. And for karma wise, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna reach out to this person because they left their name on there. I was like, you know what, I'll do it. It never happened. So like, I talked to him a few times. Just like, you know what? That's a lot of effort. You can just keep it. It's fine. Which, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, the effort is still nice. So it's really fun because you get to be outside, you get to explore some areas and in some places and whatnot. And it's not, unless you do it like league wise, it's not toxic. Like you just have fun. You go out, you're like tossing stuff. Like you get to see some new areas of places that you've never because like I saw a lot more Snyder Park doing that than I ever have in my entire life, and it's just such a nice, wholesome community.
Yeah.
And so, and it made me want to do that more, as well as like start getting to like more, community things or like small time stuff. Because like you kind of like find better people to be around and everything. It's really nice. And I've never been to do one because like insecure, social anxiety, introvert kind of shit. I've never been like to go reach out or anything. So it's definitely one of those things of like you got to try it. At least try it, see what you think. Like I go like do one or two courses. And
Yeah.
see what you think because it's a lot of fucking fun. And see if like it's for you or if you find enough like people for it. And that's what I highly suggest. Like go do something that you never thought you would normally do.
Yeah.
Like even if you don't want to do it like completely, just just give it a try. Like be like do like 1 or 2 like sessions or like activities or whatnot.
That's
See,
why I planned a spontaneous trip to Austin, Texas, with my buddy.
oh, is that what you're doing or?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yep. In January. Be in January.
Nice.
We'll be going down to Austin, Texas. We just planned it one night. It was just like, he's like, dude, you actually want to come down here? And I'm like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I've been listening to again Joe Rogan's podcast, and he's been saying that it's beautiful down there. It's amazing.
Yeah.
environment.
My buddy, because that's where he's been living for the past 3 months. He says that he loves it down there.
Right.
Like he loves it.
Yeah. I've heard it's pretty good. Terrible drivers, but apparently it's really nice down there.
Everywhere's got terrible drivers.
No, apparently Austin is very bad, or Texas is awful.
So is Florida and Alabama and Georgia.
No, what I've heard is Texas
I
is
know.
really, really bad.
I know of those places. Like except for Austin. I'll tell you when I get to Austin. But we've been down to Florida. We've been down to Alabama and Georgia.
I've went to a few places.
There's some terrible drivers down there.
I went to Kentucky, Tennessee, South Carolina. My dad's gone to a bunch of places, and he said, "Yeah, no, you said that they're really bad. And, we say that it's really bad in Ohio, or it's really bad. No, it's bad in Texas. It's bad.
Yeah, Ohio's not bad in terms of driving.
I even talked to somebody down in Texas, and they even say like, yeah, it's pretty fucking bad down here.
Yeah, I mean,
so just be aware that Texas has probably one of the worst drivers.
We're gonna be walking or Ubering everywhere.
No, I'm saying when you go down there. I'm saying when
that's what I'm saying.
your initial
We're flying
trip.
down there.
Oh, you're flying?
Yeah, we're flying down.
I can't do that. I can't fly.
Can't fly.
I've never flown, and I've always been afraid. Like, it's something that I've always wanted to do, but it's just like, no, I'll drive. If I gotta go overseas, I'll take a cruise. I'll take a ship. I don't care. I'm not flying. Fuck off. Yeah, fuck.
I mean,
flying.
it's one of the safe. It's actually the safest way to.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't like even being 3 feet off the ground. I don't like not being. I don't like being not at the level of what the earth is. Fuck off. I don't have wings. I don't know. Fuck off. Like I'm not flying the plane. Fuck off. I'm just no. Oh,
I would
God.
be genuinely concerned if you were flying the plane. Like
No.
I am perfectly comfortable with a stranger driving a plane over somebody who does not know how to fly a plane.
No, I mean I would honestly I would go through all of the tests, the lessons, the classes, everything to fly a plane over flying.
And even still, you have to have a co-pilot. You can't fly.
I don't care.
big
I'd be
jets.
fine. I don't care. I would do all that. I would be one to fly the plane over fucking being a part of. No, I can't. No, even just the thought of like just being held in air with somebody controlling the fuck. No, I can't. I don't trust. I don't know the pilot. I don't know how capable he is. I'm sure he's very capable. I don't know him. I don't know the plane itself. No, fuck no. I don't. If I have no control in how I'm being transported, fuck off. No.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
you don't
at
have
least-
any control when you're driving.
Yeah, you do.
Somebody could swerve over in a lane and crash right into you.
I-
You wouldn't even have time.
I
to
can
react.
see people. I'm always constantly watching people.
If somebody swerved over in a lane, you wouldn't see it happen like that, and you'd be gone.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Oh yeah.
mm.
You
That's
know
debatable.
how many people it happens to every day?
That's debatable. I mean,
No, you wouldn't see it. You don't have time to react.
mm.
And if you do have time to react, you're swerving into a tree.
That's why
and
you
you're
stay.
stopping
That's
right
why
into
you
the tree.
stay away from people. I don't like being anywhere near anybody when I'm driving.
But you have to drive in traffic sometime.
Yeah, but at least at that
On
point,
that
though-
road right there, if somebody was right, just not even a mile away from you, coming the other way, and they just happened to swerve over in that lane, you wouldn't see it coming. You'd die. It'd be a head-on.
either way,
collision.
that would still be a lot quicker than anything that would happen in a plane.
You would survive in a plane.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah, how many people have died in
Mm.
plane crashes versus car crashes?
mm. I don't.
I mean, it's facts.
I
You can
don't.
look
I
it
don't
up.
like the feel of falling. If I'm
You're not straight down.
I don't care.
It's
I don't care.
a descent.
I don't care. I like if I'm going downwards, I would rather die instantaneously than have to go through knowing that I'm falling down. I would rather want myself to die than fucking, be like, oh god, we're going down, we're going down, we're going down. I would much rather.
Well, I mean,
die.
it's the illusion of control. You
I don't
give it
care.
yourself.
I don't care.
The illusion of control.
No, fuck flying. Fuck flying. I would rather die in a car crash than fucking die in an airplane.
Well, which are far less likely to die.
I don't care. It's still like,
Because
honestly, like
honestly,
I haven't thought about it as much as I have recently because I also thought, because for a while I was like, oh yeah, it's just getting over the fact of flying, whatever, and then I was thinking like, I was actually positioning myself in a plane, just chilling in an airstream, just being like, I don't have any control of being where we're at. We're like we're
Well,
just
see, and that's the
just
one
kind of
thing-
like moving.
That's what meditation taught me. Is you have to go with the flow. You just
I'm not. No. If I don't like heights in general. Like I've got a couple of videos that prove that I cannot stand heights.
But you can get over that fear. I got over it.
I don't care. Fuck it. I
But
don't.
the problem is you don't want to get over it.
No. I don't. I mean, I'm sure there's some part of me that does want to get over that fear.
But the problem is the person that doesn't want to get over it is overriding.
I do. It's just I don't. It's a very scary feeling. Even being like on the second level of like a mall and being like looking over. I don't like it.
That's funny. A lot of people hate that.
Oh god, it's so terrifying.
I
Because-
used to
well,
be
the
just
thing
like
is,
that.
like, I lose my sense of balance. I lose my sense of control, and it's very uncomfortable. And the thing is, like, there is a part of me that does stop now. You're pissing me off. Stop. No, they do this shit all the time. They're like, they'll be let out. They'll get their food. They'll get their water. They'll get whatever, and then they're just being little cunts.
Well, dogs.
Yeah, well, I give them enough attention, so they'll be fine. There's a part of me that does kind of want to get over it, but at the same time, I'm just like,
Well, the first step is just imagining yourself. You keep imagining yourself doing it. That's how I got over my fear of spiders too. I can pick up spiders now.
I can pick up spiders, but I'm not as afraid of them as I was. I'm like, all right, I you know what, you guys are cool, but you do your own thing. You leave me alone. I'm not gonna kill you. We'll do our own separate things. Yeah, that kind of thing. I guess it would probably be a good time to stop this. You said you wouldn't be able to do it on Sundays.
I probably not. In all likelihood, it'd be later.
About what time?
It's hard to tell because sometimes we go out for dinner, and then other times because a lot of my family
What-
does things on Sundays.
What about Fridays?
I could probably do Fridays. Yeah.
Because they have me doing like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and they really want me to work Saturdays. So it was like I'll work with my partner about it. So so Fridays you think would work?
I mean, yeah, I probably.
Yeah, we only do like a few hours and whatnot. So.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to have to get like a new camera, a new mic system, and everything else. This is
And a new
this.
lighting setup too.
I mean, this isn't like with the lighting system. This doesn't really look too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like a vampire though, hiding off in the, like, you know, it's like,
Yeah, I guess you're right.
you know, like,
But I mean, all I have to do is like move this a little bit. This fucking cunt stop. We could do, probably a new lighting system or something.
that's
Honestly, I think if we got a new camera, it would be a little.
it might help a little bit, but I mean, overall, it might,
It's just a step-by-step thing, you know.
Yeah,
like we do one thing
you
after
slowly
another.
get the
Yeah.
equipment and stuff like that.
Right. But all right, yeah, I appreciate you dealing with it and this with me. Next time, actually have some comments and not be about some things. Yeah.
Who, you or me?
You.
Uh,
I was giving you shit about my perspective on some of the earlier stuff. I was being a dickhead. It
doesn't matter to me. I don't care.
I was just fucking with you. God damn. Lighten up. Jesus fucking
Well, no,
Christ.
I mean, it just
It
doesn't really matter to me.
Well, it doesn't really matter to anyone since no one's fucking.
Well,
No,
I mean,
yeah, no. Yeah, we'll try this next weekend. You want to do Friday?
yeah, I do Friday.
Friday. All right. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, this was fun. I think we had a decent podcast. We got a decent idea. We're definitely going to have to work out a lot of kinks, but if we just slowly, I mean, I think you'll slowly start doing it, but we'll get more comfortable about a lot of things. I'll try and come up with some more topics, which I don't even think it's really too bad. I think if I just write down a couple topics to like go towards for like if if we get to those spots that are just like, all right, now what should we go to next? Like if I should just have to those things, like not necessarily be like that's what we should rely on, but those are like the ones like if we can't think of something immediately, just be like, all right, what do we have over here, and just look at those and like go to that. You know what I mean? Honestly, no, this was fun. I had a lot of fun, and again, some of the things that we should talk about should be later on.
Yeah.
But it's nice to get this like comfortable. Like I don't know, but what did you think about talking throughout this thing? What did you think about this podcast?
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice little, fun thing to do.
Right. Yeah, and I'll definitely be more sober the next time and whatnot. I just like I said, I've been trying to fucking sleep all morning. Like that's all I've been trying to do. So that's why I am the way I am right now. I haven't been prepared for anything. Today's not been a good day. That's what it was. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be a little bit more prepared, but again, hopefully we'll.
Yeah,
Do you have any other comments or any suggestions or anything at the moment?
No, I think that was just about everything.
All right, yeah, I had fun. I had fun with this. I don't know about you, but I had fun. It's nice shooting shit with you and just getting the time allotted to shoot shit, not feel bad about like whatever you're doing, or just feeling like comfortable having that stuff and Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll figure more shit out, and it might be about the same thing next time, same exact thing. Maybe we'll be a little bit more ready for it, but again, slowly we'll have a little bit more better production.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So Friday.
Yeah, we do Friday.
All right, I'm going to talk to some people to make sure that Friday is off limits, and then we'll do it then.
Okay.
All right, we're going to end the stream. Not that anybody's listening, but you know what? If you happen to watch this stream after we're done, well, fuck off. And thank you for listening.
Nice way to end the stream.
I know, right? Well, I don't want to have any viewers that can't take a little humor. So if you can't take that kind of humor, then, well, fuck off. So, all right, see ya. All right.